if you put a person with high awareness and discernment in a toxic environment, it is possible that the group will identify that that person is in fact the problem because of their awareness of toxicity. So basically, instead of looking at the issue in which exists in the toxicity, they're going to look at the person as the problem. And the person doesn't even necessarily, the person with discernment and awareness doesn't cause trouble. That's the interesting thing. They're not, it's their existence that causes trouble because they need spaces and environments to be functioning on authenticity, integrity, and genuine motive, like no ulterior motives. And toxic environments that run on neglect, abuse, power constructs, I mean, anything like that, when that exists, it's like everyone has signed an invisible contract to agreeing to participate in that environment without an awareness that they agree. This is just how like conditioning happens. And it's so like if you're the person with discernment and it shows up as feeling really uncomfortable or misaligned to the environment. It shows up in your body, like you feel like sick, like ill, because and when you're growing discernment in the beginning, you're like not necessarily sure why you feel that way, but as you grow discernment, you start to realize that it has to do with like a misaligned environment, like that's filled with like toxicity and social constructs that don't align with like what it is that you want for your life. But beyond feeling like icky in your body, what happens is you start to ask questions. And your questions, although not aggressive or combative, even your line of questioning identifies the existence of the toxic environment. And so, like, then often the people who, without any sort of awareness to agreeing to be in this toxic environment, turn to you like you're the person who's wrong, when really you're just shining a light without in an aggressive way, not an aggressive way, shining a light on the truth as to how something functions, how there's better ways that things should function. So it's like, it's interesting because the person who has discernment, who has awareness, can sometimes be cast out of the group if they refuse to identify with social constructs that don't agree with the group, meaning like power control, who has the last say, like those kind of things. Because the person who has discernment and awareness just wants like equal respect as a group, and authenticity. Like there's no ulterior motives. No one's like trying to manipulate the group for in this way. So it's just like an interesting topic to discuss and think about.